Let's talk about the Davis family from Seeking Sister Wife. This is from their Instagram 2 days ago. I just took the screenshot. So as near as I can tell, they are still together, which is part of the reason why I have so much frustration, because I have a lot of frustration with how the three of them, so Nick, April, and Jennifer, are treating Danielle. But she's fully buying into it. She's going along with it. She's still with him. So there's also a part of me who goes, fine. Okay, you know what? You're going to tell me how happy you are, how you're ready to move forward. I'm going to believe you. But for the timeline so far, just to give you an idea of how quickly this is all happening, she moves out. She gets an apartment. She moves out. 2 days later, she is like, I was so lonely without you guys. I moved back in. Her and him have a conversation. He says all the right things. I see a lot of people going like, oh, he's so great. He's so amazing. He's so sexy. He's so handsome. And first of all, I'm really concerned about you people if you kind of don't see the warning flags, but whatever. Good luck in your own life. But he says all the right things. But you know that saying the right things and doing the right things are kind of two different parts. He says all the right things. They sit down. He says, your feelings are valid. They're important. We want to do what's right for you. She says, I need to slow down. I need to take some time before I'm ready to date. And he does not say the editing. Now the editing could be wrong, but the editing has him immediately go to, you know what? April was really hurt when you left. You need to go have a conversation with her. Cause I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see does he actually say, yes, we'll wait? Or does he deflect? And he doesn't say anything. Like I said, it could be the editing, but I got a lot of people who got on me when I said this before and was like, yes, he did say that. And I'm like, not after she said it, before she said it. Now, maybe that means nothing. Maybe it means something. So sits down with her, guilt trip of the world. First of all, she goes, I'm the matriarch of this family. I'm the head wife, which a lot of people had a big issue with already because they're like, oh, okay then. I'm the head wife. You have to promise you will never leave again, which a lot of people, including myself, were like, whoa, that sounds coercive. That sounds, all of that. So to be clear, they want to take on 5 wives total. The way they do it is these two are married. So she would marry the next wife. I don't know who wife 5 would marry. She would be legally bound to someone that right now she doesn't even want to date. So really big warning flags. And she explicitly says it's a big part of her concern is that, all of this. It's a weird setup financially. I don't fully understand the repercussions, but it seems like it's incredibly dangerous. She's going to be unable to just leave. Her assets will be locked up, all of that kind of stuff. So already some warning flags. Okay. So in this week's episode 8, the 3 women go to smash it room. I don't know what it's called, where you break stuff. It has been 2 weeks since the conversation with her where she said, I need to slow down. And April goes, we love you so much, blah, blah, blah. We'll slow down. Okay. 2 weeks later, they go to the smash it room and they go, are you ready to date? And she's like, she tells us in an interview she's not. She tells them she is. They go back that evening. They all cook marshmallows. There's a lot of drama on the internet about whether or not April overcooks her marshmallow. As a fellow marshmallow incinerator, I think she did it correctly. What bothered me was when they told him that they went to a smash it room, he did this big oh, how was it? And I go, he knows. Don't do this whole acting for TV thing. I get that you need to do it for the camera, but don't have us try to pretend that you don't know what's happening. And then they're like, well, the wives lead it. And it's like, lead all the dating. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you have no input whatsoever on whether or not you want to bang another chick. Okay. I get it. And then they say, well, good news. Are you ready to date? And I was fully on board with this, but then she goes over the top with, yes, I'm ready to date. There's more people that are supposed to be in our family. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And I'm like, what am I going to say? This dynamic sets my teeth on edge because it makes me so uncomfortable for how clearly she doesn't want to do it, how many times she has expressed that she's not ready to do it, all of that, and how they're just bulldozing through her. But what can I do? She's telling them exactly word for word, I want to have more people. We need to do this. what are we going to say? So a lot of people get on me because they're like, well, she knew when she joined the family, they wanted 5 wives. And yes, that's true. She's allowed to change her mind, though. She didn't live this dynamic. She'd never been in a serious relationship before this. They now have a baby. It's okay if she feels overwhelmed. You know, the example I gave is if you said, I want 3 kids, you have a single kid, you have postpartum, it's incredibly difficult, and your husband's like, come on, let's go. We said we were going to have 2 more kids, and you're like, hold on, I need to slow down for a little bit. I think that's reasonable. I think it's also reasonable for them to say, hey, we want to keep going. We're going to leave you behind. But it's also reasonable for her to say, this isn't a fit for me. And they shouldn't be saying things like, you have to promise you'll never leave, you to promise you never leave, you to promise you never leave. So I don't know what to do. On one hand, I try to be very understanding that she is significantly younger than most of them. She's a little younger than her, but I think like 10 years younger than them, at least. There's a lot of pressure. Is 3 against 1 pressuring her to move forward with something she's uncomfortable with? I'm sure there's a ton of production pressure. Even if the producers don't say you have to do this, there's got to be pressure of like, we're filming a show about seeking. They're not going to pay us if we don't seek. Like there has to be a ton of pressure on her. But on the other hand, I go, you keep telling them you're ready to move forward. It's hard for me to advocate. Like you're kind of undermining my ability to say she's being clear when she's not being clear. So I'm really frustrated. I just don't like them. I feel like they're using their superior age, maturity, intelligence, whatever, the baby, you know, their family structure, her home, to really pressure her into something that she's clearly repeatedly saying she's not interested in. But you know, what am I going to do?